Today, I'm walking you through the 10 biggest Europe travel mistakes to avoid, starting with the one that is causing the most confusion right now. The first mistake is to avoid applying online and paying for ETIAS before your summer trip to Europe. ETIAS is the new European travel authorization that Americans and Canadians and citizens from a dozen other countries will eventually need before visiting many of the popular European countries. But the most important thing to remember about ETIAS is the fact that it has not launched yet, and this is the number one question that is filling up my inbox. So to clear things up, the answer is no. For summer 2026, you do not need ETIAS. You just need a valid passport. The scarier emails that I'm getting are from travelers who have already paid online only to then realize that they've handed their credit card information and their personal information to a fake scam website. So if you see anything online telling you to apply for ETIAS before a summer trip to Europe, close the tab. That's a scam. If you want to be the first to know when ETIAS does actually launch, then scan the QR code on the screen or find the link down in the video description to join my weekly newsletter. I'll make sure you know the moment it launches, as well as have all the information to pay for it and apply for it in the right place. The second mistake is showing up unprepared for EES. While ETIAS has not launched yet, another European border system has, and as of April 2026, it is officially live across Europe. EES stands for the Entry-Exit System. Here's what's actually different now that EES is live. Instead of getting a stamp in your passport when you land in Europe, a border officer is going to scan your fingerprints and take a photo of your face the very first time that you enter Europe under this new system. That information is going to be stored for 3 years and then linked to your passport. So for every future trip, an officer is just going to verify your face against that information that they already have on record. What this means for your next trip to Europe is that once you land in Europe for the very first time, it's going to take you a little bit longer than it used to get through the airport. Most travel experts recommend giving yourself an extra 30 to 60 minutes at passport control on arrival in Europe just for the EES registration itself. Once that's complete, the rest of the lines at the airport are expected to move much faster. The third mistake ties directly to that new border system, EES, which would be overstaying your time in Europe without realizing it. EES is now automatically tracking every day that you spend in the Schengen area, which is the group of 29 European countries that share a single passport-free border. The Schengen 90-day rule says that Americans can spend a maximum of 90 days inside the Schengen area within any rolling 180-day window. Every entry and exit gets logged, the system adds up your time, and any overstay gets flagged. Even a single day over can result in fines, entry bans, or denied boarding the next time you try to fly to Europe. So if you are planning a longer trip, or if you're bouncing between Schengen and non-Schengen countries like the UK or Ireland, take a few minutes before you book a return flight to count your days carefully. There are free Schengen day calculators online, and I'll link to one of them in the description. Let us know down in the video comments which country you are most excited to visit in Europe, and then of course, while you're down there, taking a moment to subscribe to the channel means you'll never miss a video, and it's also a free way to support Ollie and I, so we really appreciate it. He doesn't always show his appreciation with a ton of excitement, but trust me, he's excited. Maybe, I'm actually not really too sure. The fourth mistake happens once you've made it past the border and are out into the streets of Europe, which would be walking into the worst pickpocket hotspots without even knowing where they are. Tourist theft has surged to the worst level that it's been in decades, and there are a handful of European countries that are doing the most damage. Paris alone accounts for more than 1 in 6 global online complaints about pickpocketing, with the metro, especially lines 1 and 6, and the Eiffel Tower at the top of the list. Rome has also seen a 68% jump in pickpocketing since 2019, and the Termini station is the worst spot of all because of the chaos of arrival that makes it the perfect hunting ground for someone to steal. And in Barcelona, Las Ramblas has been called the worst street in Europe for theft. And the trick is that they end up distracting tourists during street performances, and that's exactly when someone comes up behind you and grabs something from your bag. But I'll be honest, the actual biggest risk facing travelers this summer is not the theft, the strikes, or any of the man-made stuff, especially for travelers over 55. We'll get to that one in a few minutes at number 7. Mistake number 5 is showing up to a cathedral in Rome wearing shorts and a sleeveless top because Europe has officially entered what they're calling the quality tourism movement, and dress codes are being enforced more strictly than ever before. Bare shoulders, short skirts, and tank tops will likely get you turned away at many of the cathedrals and the monuments around Europe. This same movement towards quality tourism is showing up in the tourist taxes that you can expect to pay this summer. Venice has brought back its day visitor access fee on 54 specific dates from April through July, which will end up costing you €5 if you book ahead, or €10 if you book within 3 days of your trip. Barcelona has raised its tourist tax to 12.5%, and Greece is charging a €20 cruise levy on Santorini and Mykonos, and Pompeii has capped daily visitors at 20,000 people. The sixth mistake would be booking a tight connection, such as only 90 minutes, for any flights across Europe this summer. That's because the strike situation in Europe is the worst that it's been in over a decade. Spain is in an indefinite air traffic control strike, France's controllers are still in a dispute, and Lufthansa just came off a major strike wave in April that grounded thousands of flights. The International Air Transport Association reports that air traffic control delays in Europe have doubled in the last 10 years. So my advice for this summer is to never book anything with a connection that's going to be tighter than 2.5 hours, and if you have the option to take a direct flight, do it. The seventh mistake would be underestimating the heat, and this is the risk that I teased earlier, as it is actually the biggest risk to American travelers in Europe this summer. Forecasters are projecting 82% probability of El Nino developing during May through July, and Paris, London, Rome, and Berlin are all in the high-risk zone for what could be the worst heat wave in Europe's recorded history. Greece, Spain, and Italy are also at an elevated wildfire risk, which has caused tourist evacuations in recent summers. The other piece of this to know is that Medicare does not cover you in Europe, and a lot of travelers don't realize that until they're sitting in a foreign emergency room looking at a bill that they can't pay. Any experienced traveler will tell you that it would be a big mistake to travel outside of your home country without any medical insurance. So the website that I recommend for Americans is linked down in the video description below. It's the one I often recommend because they seem to have the best variety and the best prices, while also making it easy to compare options from different providers. Speaking of packing breathable clothing for a hot summer trip, that is exactly why I partner with today's video sponsor, Halera. Their lightweight, wrinkle-resistant clothing has become my Europe packing secret because it solves the one problem that makes packing for Europe a nightmare: fitting comfortable, stylish, and packable pieces into a carry-on without showing up at a cathedral looking like you slept in your clothes. The pair that I'm wearing here are the high-waisted linen feel pants. They look exactly like the linen pants that you've always wanted to travel in, except these don't wrinkle. That means you can roll them up tight in your suitcase, and they're going to unroll at your hotel, ready to wear. These pants come in a huge range of sizes from extra small to 4X, as well as various lengths to pick from, and a ton of colors, including some great neutrals that are going to go with pretty much anything else in your suitcase. You can find the link to check out Halera for yourself by scanning the QR code on the screen here or by checking the link down in the video description. And then don't forget to use the code TRAVEL at checkout for an additional 20% off full-price items. Mistake number 8 is leaving the house without a photo of the barcode on the inside back cover of your passport. This one small step could save your entire trip. If your passport gets lost or stolen or misplaced overseas, the US Embassy has machines that they can use to pull your information directly from that image of the barcode, and this could help get you home much faster. The ninth mistake is not enrolling in the State Department's STEP program before your trip. STEP stands for Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, and it lets the U.S. Embassy in your destination country know that you're there. If something does happen, like a natural disaster, a strike, an emergency, or even a missing person situation, they can find you and contact you directly. It's completely free, takes about 5 minutes to complete online, and it's one of the most important things that you can do before any international trip. I'll leave the link to apply for STEP down in the video description so it's easy for you to find. You also don't want to skip the official Travel to Europe app, which is the EU's free pre-registration tool for the new border system that I covered earlier, EES. You can submit your biometric photo and passport information up to 72 hours before arrival, which is going to speed up your border processing once you land in Europe. Right now, it's fully accepted in Portugal and Sweden, with France, Italy, the Netherlands, Greece, and Hungary working to roll it out as well. If you are traveling to one of the supported countries, it is genuinely worth setting it up before leaving home. I'll put a video on the screen now and then link it in the description where I break down the small things that you can do on the plane to make any flight, including your upcoming flight to Europe, 100 times better. It's the perfect companion to this video and definitely one to consider watching before you head to the airport. I hope you have the best trip to Europe, whenever it happens to be, and then I also hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel to join Ollie and me back here for more travel tips and hacks each week, and we will see you in that next video soon. Bye!